Hey, we're going live. And how you doing? I'm the real Manos, mediocre and unpopular YouTuber. I have been, like most of you, going out of my mind with horrifying depression. So I've been like keeping myself busy with writing stuff and producing real Manos videos. And I know we're all kind of going through like a rough patch ourselves over this. And yeah, look, I just say we just need to stay strong, keep our heads, and sooner or later we'll be laughing about this. I mean, well, the ones who are still alive and aren't emotionally destroyed by this whole thing. But I mean, we'll be better. So what I thought I'd do is get together and do some live videos. I'm actually going to do a quick share with this one. This is always the most exciting part of my videos, me sharing this. So I'm going to share this video on my Twitter and stupid thing. Oh, okay. Close player. And I'm going to share this on my Twitter. Here we go. Nope, that's not it either. Okay, here we go. On Twitter. And here we are. And I'm going to share this on Facebook so people know what I'm doing. We're live. Okay, and one more, and I promise we're done. Promise we've done all the hard stuff. Okay. All right, one more on the Real Manos Facebook page. Okay, here we go. We're done. Okay, here we go. So what's going on? What am I doing? What's exactly the plan here in Real Manos? So, like I said, everything's bad, and comic books are down for the moment, which sucks. I don't like it. I like reading new comics, and we can't really do that. So, I will be doing some videos that I've been meaning to that I'm way behind on. I got MST3K season 12. I need to do. I have that anime replay video I wanted to do about Naruto. I haven't sat down and done it. And there's also an old video about not an old video, but there's a video I want to do about Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man 200, and what that comic means to me. And I've kind of had that in the works forever, and I haven't bothered doing it. So I'm gonna be doing that next too. So, what am I talking to you about today? Oh yeah, first off, I do have to plug my own stuff. The Real Manos is also a writer. Manos Publishing. Go and pick up Red Knight 1 through 3 in print and digital. Also, Davida, the vampire novels, available there. And let's see, I hadn't mentioned this on this channel yet, but I am going to be writing some episodes for Echoes of the Night on Geeks for Fun. That's a great channel. They do fan audio dramas, and I've been asked to work on their Batman series, so I'm very excited about that. Speaking of Batman, I thought it might be fun or stupid, I don't know, or both, if I did some readings, some live readings here, and maybe just keep you entertained, because I have some friends who are artists who have been doing some like live shows on their Instagrams and Facebooks and YouTubes and stuff like that. And they all do visual stuff. And I'm a writer. It's not fun to watch me write. I suppose I could read excerpts from Davida. That might not be a bad idea. I can't really read excerpts from Red Knight's comic book. That's really hard to do. So I thought it might be fun to read some excerpts from something I've had laying around for a while, but I haven't bothered reading. It's this paperback called The Further Adventures of Batman. And I don't know how many people know about this thing, but it was part of DC's celebration of Batman's 50th anniversary. And this was a collection of short stories. And there's some really cool people in here. There's Max Allan Collins. There is, where is he? I thought Robert Bloch was on here. Oh, I guess he isn't. And there's also Isaac Asimov. There's an Isaac Asimov story in here, which is cool. I never didn't really realize he wrote a Batman story until I got this. And I thought for fun, I would experiment and see if this would work. So I actually picked the shortest story out of here. It's only like, I think it's only around 7 pages or something like that. There's some in here that are like 60 some pages and stuff like that. But you know, people really want to see me do this. I'll like do a few more here. But this is, let's see. Oh, whoops. Reading the wrong story here. Oh, let's see. I'm gonna have to rewrite the title of this. But I'm just gonna do I was gonna do Batman in Nighttown, but actually that's a 20 more page than I expected. So I'm gonna do Batman Neutral Ground. And there's only a few pages here. So, I am blind, so excuse me for a second. So yeah, this one is by Mike Resnick. And like I said, this is from the book, The Further Adventures of Batman. So let's take a look. Let's see what we got here. Kittlemeyer's shop was in a poverty-stricken area of the town. To say that it was unimpressive would be an understatement. Its windows were patched with plywood, its door handle was rusty and almost posed a physical threat. The shop was not listed in any telephone book. Its door bore no street number, no sign proclaimed that it was sold. Those who peered into it from the doorway saw only a dimly lit room with an ancient counter, an old-fashioned cash register, an out-of-date calendar from the local service station. It contained a doorway leading to another room that opened into the alley. One would think, to look at it, that Kittlemeyer's shop could not possibly attract any customers. And in truth, it did not attract many. But those who needed Kittlemeyer's particular services always seemed to know where to find him. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when an elegant black limousine pulled up in front of Kittlemeyer's shop, and a tall, well-dressed man emerged from the back seat. Lithe as a jungle panther, his custom-made suit barely concealing his heavy muscled frame, he walked the 5 steps into Kittlemeyer's door, paused for just a moment, and then entered the shop. A bell trickled gently, and old Kittlemeyer, a measuring tape slung over his shoulder, a pencil tucked behind each ear, pushed past the curtain and greeted the customer. "You are late," he said. The tall man shrugged. It was unavoidable, he said, and Kittlemeyer noticed that his knuckles on his right hand were badly swollen. "We must hurry," said Kittlemeyer. "I have another appointment in 15 minutes. The tall man's interest was aroused, but he refrained from asking any questions. That was Kittlemeyer's rule, and he honored it. Kittlemeyer reached below the counter, withdrawn a yellow belt that was lined with exterior pouches. You see, he said, displaying it to the tall man, I have to examine, I have to, oh, excuse me, I had to eliminate the counter for explosions in order to make room for the modified gas mask you'll be using. You're quite sure of its dimensions. The tall man nodded. I took the liberty of making another slight change, countered Kittlemeyer, showing him a different section of the belt. The minimized wench for your silken cord was wearing against the leather here, so I reversed the insert angle. I approve, said the tall man. A tungsten cord would be as strong and take up less room, suggested Kittlemeyer. The tall man shook his head. I prefer silk. It causes less damage to the hands. Kittlemeyer shrugged. You might think about that in the future. You could add extra 20 yards to its length, but I could also reinforce your gauntlets. Perhaps in the future, when you need for a longer cord arises, perhaps in the future, when the need for a longer cord arises, said the tall man, you must have something else for me. Old Kittlemeyer nodded, reached beneath the counter again, this time withdrawing 2 dark blue gauntlets. Where's their power source? Asked the tall man. The lithium battery sewn into the lining of each. And this will ensure against the temperature of 100 degrees below Fahrenheit. At least, said Kittlemeyer. Good. We'll be needing them too. I don't want to know, interrupted Kittlemeyer, holding up his hand. Oh, good acting. Let's see. What you do when you leave my premises is not my concern. The tall man nodded, and for a moment he was aware of a clock ticking in the dusty stillness. Dusty stillness. You have considered the boots? Yes. I very much like your suggestion. Good, said Kittlemeyer. Of course, I will need molds of your feet before I can equip them with the strings enabling you to leap the required distance. Should we make an appointment for, say, 2 o'clock on Thursday? Why not now, said the tall man. Kittlemeyer shook his head. Another appointment. You must leave before the next one arrives. You know the rules. As you wish, said the tall man indifferently. Kittlemeyer set to work wrapping the belt and the gloves and placed them in a nondescript shopping bag, handed them across the counter to the tall man. That'll be, he thought for a second, and then named a sum that did not seem too extraordinary to him. In cash, as always. The tall man grunted, withdrawn from his wallet, took out a number of large bills, laid them on the counter. Until Thursday, then, said Kittlemeyer. Until Thursday, said the tall man. He picked up the shopping bag, walked out of the door, entered the back seat of his limousine, which immediately pulled from the curve and was soon lost from sight from the rush hour traffic. Kittlemeyer put the money in his cash register and then checked his wristwatch. He badly wanted a cigarette, but his next client was never late. So he remained behind the counter. At precisely 5:15, a wiry man with thinning blonde hair entered the shop. He looked feverishly into the shadows before approaching the counter. Well, he demanded, are they ready? 4 of them, answered Kittlemeyer. 2 were completely beyond repair, but I have to make entirely new ones. Do it. And the last time you gave me only 80 question marks. This time, I want at least 100, and I want to know because I will count every last one of them. Kittlemeyer pulled a pad of paper and began scribbling in almost ineligible scrawl 100 question marks. He muttered as he wrote it. And the material must be strong. The dye is waterproof. Waterproof dyes, said Kittlemeyer, while scribbling feverishly. Can you do it? Of course, said Kittlemeyer. I must have them by next Monday because on Tuesday, he threw back his head and giggled hysterically. Monday, said Kittlemeyer, nodding. 10 o'clock in the morning. 10 o'clock, said the man. Kittlemeyer placed 4 neatly folded green costumes in brown paper bags from the local grocery store. He then took a fresh sheet of scratch paper and scribbled a figure on it. This is more than we agreed upon. My original figure was for repairing 6 costumes. I did not plan on having to make 2 more from scratch. You kept the old devices for the new costumes? Queried the man. I would be very unhappy to find that I was paying for new weapons when the old ones were perfect in working order. I kept them, said Kittlemeyer. You can inspect them when you return next Monday. The man stared at him distrustfully for a long time and then pulled out a roll of bills and placed them on the counter. Kittlemeyer counted them carefully and looked up. Please, bring another $600 with you on Monday. Then your account will be up to date. The man nodded and then grabbed his bag. He turned on his heel and left. It had been a long day, and old Kittlemeyer was getting hungry. He sighed. It would be satisfying. He sighed. It was satisfyingly. He sighed. It was satisfying to be known as the very best in your trade, but your time was so seldom of your own. He checked his watch again and decided that he had just had enough time for a quick sandwich before Selina arrived for her fitting. And that is Neutral Ground from Mike Resnick. I don't believe this book is in print anymore. I would be pleasantly surprised if it was. I'm sure you can probably find this on the back markets. There's a bunch of different stories on here. And if you like, maybe I'll read another one just to keep us all from going insane. All right, I think that's it. And I'm going to head out. So you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll see you later.